So, something attracted to a creature's bioelectrics can't sense that creature unless they're using communications equipment. Like, how's that work? How does that work? Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Trek Canon. Kind of a midnight edition, but it's a review today, and I'm doing a review of All Things Possible, or All Is Possible, Star Trek Discovery Season 4, Episode 4. So, as always, I took some notes, and when I say some notes, just a few bullet points that I wanted to talk about in this episode. So, like I said, the name of the episode is All Is Possible. It's Season 4, Episode 4 of Discovery. Now, before I get into my review, let me just lead up to my review with with some thoughts, all right? Now, when episode 1 came on, we had a planet get destroyed. We had a station, get havoc wreaked upon it, like episode 2 and 3, man, they was talking about, episode 2, they was talking about this, this phenomenon and everything like that. And then in episode 3 and 4, and I didn't review episode 3 because I didn't think it was a point, but when I say it wasn't a point, it didn't really add anything to the storyline that they were trying to push so far. But I thought that this one would be interesting to talk about, and I'm gonna tell you why. So, first, I wanted to talk about Book. All right, Book. There's several storylines going on in here, and it's basically two main storylines, and it's maybe two sub storylines going on. The two main storylines are this diplomatic signing between Vulcan. I'm sorry, they don't call it Vulcan. They call it Navarre. Okay, look, let me look. Side note, I don't like that. I think Navarre is a nice name, but not for Vulcan. We've been calling planet Vulcan where Vulcans come from for decades. That's like all of a sudden we just start calling Earth Terra. We just gonna call it Terra. This is Terra. This not Earth. Y'all not Earthlings no more, y'all. Terrans, and Vulcans aren't Vulcans anymore. From the planet Vulcan, they're Navarans from the planet Navarre. Anyway, so um, basically the signing of uh, the treaty to get Navarre to come into the Federation, and the other plot is what's going on with Tilly and some Starfleet officers, some Starfleet cadets that she's going to be training on this training mission. Now, Book. Book is one of the sub story plots that's going on and how he's dealing with the destruction of his world. Now, I feel real sorry for Book, man. I truly do. I feel real sorry for Book. And I'm interested to see where they take his character going forward after this particular disaster, because it doesn't seem like he's dealing with it well. And why would he? Because his whole world, everything he knows, everything he's attached to, is gone. Now, basically, the doctor, who's now beginning to serve more in the capacity of counselor, which I think he's making a good counselor. I like how he interacts on a personal level with the crew. All right. So the doctor explains to him some of his culture and some of the rituals that they had when it came to standing burials and stuff like that, standing funerals. Now, uh, like I said, I like the way he's trying to connect on a personal level, far more personal than say a counselor Deanna Troy would have done in the Next Generation. So, but it doesn't seem like it's helping. The mind meld that he had with the Vulcan, with the Navarran president, see, ain't nobody gonna like that. With the Navarran president, doesn't seem to be holding. All right. Now, let's talk about this diplomatic thing. Star Trek has no shortage of diplomacy in its ranks, in its past, in its canon. But where was the stakes in this diplomacy? Where was, what was the only thing that I noticed that would be lost would be Navarre not joining the Federation. But what other consequences came from that? So I was trying to see why they focused so heavily on that particular interaction and on that particular storyline when there was nothing pressing or nothing uh, poignant about it. It contributed nothing, because if Navarre did not become part of the Federation, they would still work in tandem with the Federation in dealing with the anomaly. So I don't understand it. All right. Now, as far as the mistrust goes of the Federation, I don't know how it got to the point of that, where all of the member worlds are started to get so selfish and started to deny one of the basic tenets of Star Trek, which is the good of the many outweighs the good of the few or the one. All right. And of course, the reverse of that, the good of the one outweighs the needs of the few or the many. So I don't know what happened, during that time, or what led up to member worlds feeling that way and starting to want to defect from or withdraw from the Federation and start to mistrust them. Now, let's talk about Tilly and this away mission. Now, the first impression I got when they crashed on the planet, on the L class planet, moon or whatever, and they looked out and they seen what they seen. The first impression I got was, oh man, is they about to try to redo Galileo 7 from the original series, which I believe is episode 16 of 15 or 16, one of those. But from season 1, are they going to try to retcon, are they going to try to, piggyback off that episode and kind of, and that was the impression I got through the entire sequence of what they were doing, that this was some sort of Galileo 7 type scenario. The banter, the arguing back and forth, the breakdown of teamwork and everything like that. These were the same things that Spock had to endure when they crashed in the shuttle on the planet that they did in that episode. Now, we got a chance to see a new life form. The squid from hell, as they say, and it was an interesting creature, but we found out nothing about it. In typical Star Trek, they learn about the creature. They learn about the new life form. We find out something, even if they're trying to get away from it, or what comes to mind right off my head is the Horta from Devil in the Dark from the original series. Take that for instance. We learned so much about the Horta, over that 40 minutes, 40 some odd minutes of that episode. And in that episode, this thing was trying to attack and kill people. And so I didn't like that. I like the fact they introduced a new alien, a new species, and everything like that. But they could have used most of the time they did on that diplomacy crap to go into that. Now, bioelectrics. Now, if I remember correctly, if I remember biology correctly, from back in school, this has been a minute. But don't all life forms produce bioelectrics, a bioelectric field, including humans? So I don't understand why they felt that they could just safely walk across this field with their equipment off and not be hunted by this particular thing, because they're naturally bioelectric. And the other thing I didn't understand is why the people in Star Trek didn't understand that. You know what I mean? So um, let's talk about the beaming. The beaming and the door sounds. I understand that beaming technology had to improve over 1,000 years, but I really do miss the traditional beaming that was indigenous to Starfleet. They could have made it faster. They could have made it, but the little glitter spinning in the glass, draw water and everything, effect that they used to use, I rather enjoyed that. The door sounds. I don't know how the door sounds would go from the nice, psh, up to that, super pneumatic, hydraulic type sound that they have now. So I don't know what's going on with that. Now, let's talk about Tilly. A few videos back, I had made a speculation about Tilly, that Tilly was missing the past. All right. Now they go into, and I should have said this at the beginning of the video, people, but spoilers. But y'all know how I roll. They go into why Tilly is feeling the way that she is feeling. Okay. And I think that their explanation for that was reasonable, because I have encountered people who not only got into a field based on a whim or wishes from somebody else or something that they thought would make them happy, but to get promoted or into a arena of leadership, and that not be something that they enjoy. It's not something that's for them. All right. So I don't know if this is Tilly's final episode, but I really loved her character. She was a spark of joy in an otherwise bleak and dreary show. So I like that. I like the way that she dealt with the trainees based on her experience level. All right. Now, let's talk about these emotional Vulcans. Sorry, Navarans. That's probably why they're so emotional. I always compare Vulcans, the actors who portray Vulcans, to Leonard Nimoy's portrayal of Spock. And I know that that's unfair. So sometimes I switch to Mark Leonard's portrayal of Sarek. And I think that's still unfair. But the actors nowadays that's in Star Trek, especially in Discovery, they're not able to portray their emotions in an emotionless way, if you know what I'm saying, like Spock and Sarek did. All right. They have little hints of smile, sarcasm, sympathy, empathy, things that you normally wouldn't associate with a Navaran. Okay. Now, let's talk about this Saru and this Vulcan president. Saru finna get a hookup. Saru finna get the hookup. No, but it's interesting to see where they take this relationship between the Vulcan president and Saru. All right, I like their interactions. They're so polar opposite, but their way of thinking is serene in each way that they approach things. Is very open-minded, very serene and calm and logical, analytical. And I thought that was nice. Now, what was my overall impression of this episode? It didn't push in any way the storyline that they had started with from episode 1. All right, they put so much emphasis on this anomaly that they could have done. The only mention that they had of the anomaly was that Stamets was still working on it. You know what I mean? So this episode, what did it contribute? Not only to its story that they're trying to tell for season 4, but to Discovery as a series, or to Star Trek as a series. And this is why I didn't review the last episode 3, and why I kind of didn't really want to review this episode, because to me it didn't really contribute anything, and therefore I wouldn't have had anything interesting to discuss with you guys. But I felt that I really wanted to talk about this because of the similarities to the Ascent, from Deep Space Nine, where Quark and Odo had got stranded out, and their interactions through that episode should have been something that they should have tried to replicate or improve upon with, say, with the Orion and with that other species that we had seen. They could have did so much with that dynamic instead of how they rushed through it and rushed through them becoming reconciling those differences that quick while being chased by creature that for some reason can't sense they bio you know bioelectric field. This is very strange to me. But what did you guys think of the episode? Please put your comments in the bottom. Let's talk about it. Did you guys like it? Did you guys not like it? Do you guys agree with the assessment that I have made so far, which is, eh, you know, they kicked off real good with a bang in episode one. They had got the slow clapping, and I was slow clapping because I wasn't really sure if I should be, pretty happy about where they was going, but they going kind of downhill. They starting to become uninteresting. Okay, so again, let me know what you guys thought, if you agree with the things that was in the video. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, peace, recycle, and say to whales, you guys be cool.